Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Nexus Collegiate, where we know every flag in the world. We're in the middle of a match series quarterfinal between Paragon and BUU. BUU taking home the first game because of a big draft diff, I would say. What do you say, Hatten?
I agree. Um, Definitely was. And I think coming into this game, we are going to see adaptation from the side of Paragon. What they lacked was, engage, obviously. That was one. And I also think that their comp, in terms of damage, didn't really synergize with each other. They had champions who needed resources, who couldn't get resources. And yeah, no, I just feel like they need to find a draft that has engage and gels way better together.
Paragon last game initially banned Wei, Gragas, and Lilia. Is there one of those champions you want to remove and perhaps put in something else?
I'm not quite sure, actually. I feel like I feel like the problem wasn't necessarily bans. I just feel like the problem was picks, really.
Pick better, guys. What are you
Yeah,
doing?
just pick better, guys. Like, come on, it's not that
Come on,
hard.
guys. Come on.
But yeah, no, I think they need to. There were some mishaps in the early game that they need to fix up as well, especially in terms of pathing. I feel like BTU they did a good job of tracking Snapx and also moving around the map to punish him wherever he was. So I feel like Paragon they need to be they need to be mindful of that as well.
With that said, everyone, we're going into game two. If B2INT UU wins this game, that means they're going to playoffs LON 20th of June in Jönköping. If Paragon wins, that means we're going to game three. And initially, I think B2INT will just ban the same three champions. I think Paragon, though, they will ban some of the champions from last game, potentially like Twisted Fate or Viego. But there's so many similar champions that you can pick. Instead of TF, you could go Syndra. Instead of Viego, you could go Vi, and you still have that amazing chain CC setup for mid lane jungle.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have what 150 some champions. There are a lot of different things that you can pick and choose from, and Forslund is an extremely versatile player. Nord is also extremely versatile as well. So, but Viego is definitely his, uh, kind of plug and play champion. Can just kind of find success on that wherever he wants. Paragon, however, they are sort of sticking to the same bans, I'm pretty sure, but it wouldn't surprise me if they ban Viego here. I kind of want to see it too.
Last game, they banned Corki as their last ban in Uppsala University. Will do so once again. And if Paragon wants to be quite similar to last game, they have to go for either Wei or Gragas in mid lane. And I think they will go for Wei. No, they went for Talia. Okay.
Okay, that is interesting. I mean, they were the ones who piloted the Talia last time, so not really adapting their bans to sort of the last game, which is very interesting. And yeah, I mean, BTU, they're just gonna pick up the Jinx as well, who maybe, didn't have any specifically flashy plays or whatnot, but did her job in the mid waves and, kept on shoving. But Paragon, they're actually going to pick the Viego themselves, so picking that away from Nord. And so the question for BTU is then, what do you pick in the mid jungle?
They could still potentially go for Vi, but it's a hover. Nord is known for his Nuno, everyone. I don't know if you guys know Nord since before, but his Nuno is pretty clutch. And he teased me all season that he was going to play Shaco. So I actually think he's trying to hint me here. Nord, I see you. I love you. Niels, Nise, I got you, baby. But it's going to be Gragas. Picked out for B2INT. And now they will reveal top or mid. It looks like a potential Renekton pick here for Guves. Will be exactly that.
It will be. And I mean, speaking of baby, I mean, my partner is in the chat, so hello. Uh, but moving on with the draft, it is going to be a Renekton here as well. So B2INT, they're going to pick that away from Paragon instead. But I mean, the Renekton didn't really do much at all last game, it felt like. But I mean, he was close on solo. He did solo kill Guves once, technically. So I mean, it was kind of keeping even with the top lane, but top lane was not the issue last game. It was mid jungle who clearly fell apart. Paragon, they will have a Gwen instead, so they have a bit of a counter pick in the top lane. They're gonna go for an Aphelios too, so it wouldn't surprise me if BTU go ahead and ban out some enchanters, but I think they want to lock in the Lulu for themselves so that Aphelios cannot have that champion with him.
They went for the Blitzkrank, removing that immediately, and then of course in second ban phase, because they didn't pick an obvious mid laner in Uppsala University, they banned out Wei and Milio.
And I mean, Milio is a good ban here, obviously. Both teams, as I said, obviously want the enchanter, so Milio is obviously a good one that pairs both with Jinx and pairs well with Aphelios as well. Wouldn't surprise me if Paragon picked Lulu here, or picked away any other kind of enchanter. Gragas, I wouldn't be too opposed to either. Or Gragas, I mean Braum. I wouldn't be too opposed to either.
I mean, big man, you know, same thing. But I like how every champion in Paragon right now is basic attack based. You know, like they're so dependent on their basic attacks, and picking up a Braum makes it so easy to find these picks. So I really like that bit, and also being able to block the Jinx ultimate, unless he's close. Then it doesn't matter. But
yeah, no. But I mean, they did with the Braum. They also have a bit of engage that they lacked last time, and you know, it doesn't have quite the survivability of a Taric ultimate, but it does offer a lot of survivability, as you said. BTU, if they lock in the Zac, which I wouldn't really think.
Yes, please. Yes,
Let's
please.
see. Oh, it is going to be the Aurelion Soul, which is
We
a
win
classic. So yeah, I mean, between comp, it's kind of just keep Jinx and Zzleeper alive, and they'll do anything and everything for you. But Paragon on the other side, they do have a much more stable comp this time around, which I like much more than last time. They have
Can I just say, honestly, dude, like Paragon, they still lack initiation. Like, they're still just fight. They have Braum, yeah, okay. Let's say, okay, Zac goes in and uses Braum ultimate. Null just uses his ultimate, and then what? Then what? Then what? They have nothing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it is a difficult position, right? But if Paragon can get flanks off with, like, the, you know, with Viego, with Ahri, with Gwen, I mean, they can find avenues into a fight that they couldn't find last time around, so yeah, no, they have a lot more options than last, and I am honestly excited to see what they can do in this game.
I think Paragon has to play a little bit like Predicted in Uppsala University the last game. They need to play for that mid-jungle synergy. They have the possibility to do so. I mean, Ahri together with a Viego, they have similar setup as last game. I mean, it's easier with a gold card than with a charm, but they could potentially go for it. And if they don't punish False in the mid lane, I mean, Zzleeper and Jinx, I think like if you play those champions together, they should have like a 90% win rate, because you could just play the game and you will outscale them and you will do so much damage. It's just hard for me to see what Paragon could do, but they have pick potential. Let's respect that. Okay, let's talk about Paragon. They have pick potential. They could potentially find with better vision if they snowball the early game. They could set up vision. They have the potential to make it difficult for B2U to play the way they want to play. But unless they spice things up and it starts smelling burnt in the kitchen, I mean, it's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, for sure. But and as you say, like, a weakness on the side of BTU is that Zzleeper and Jinx, they are quite immobile. So if Ahri can go in with a Spirit Rush, land that charm, that can be a pick on a very big carry on the side of BTU, which can really swing a team fight around. And Paragon, they have a lot of damage in Aphelios, in Ahri. Like, all of them except for Braum are damage dealers, and BTU, they don't have the strongest frontline. They only have really a Renekton and a Gragas to tank up all of that damage. So if they can't get a reset for Jinx, team fighting will be very, very difficult for them. So Paragon, way better setup this time around. And I'm not going to say the execution is easy, but at least they have the tools to do it this time.
Yeah, I mean, it's at least it's gonna be a game. With that said, everyone, we're moving into game 2. BUU is at match point. If they win this game, that means they're going to LAN playoffs, 20th of June in Jönköping. If Paragon wins, they're forcing out a game 3. Last night, we saw a game 3 between Sweden and Finland. Will we see it again today, or will we just see another Swedish team making it to LAN?
It wouldn't surprise me if we saw a game 3 here. But looking at the state of the map right now, both junglers are starting on the bottom side of the map. We want to influence the top lane a little bit more. Doesn't seem to be any, deep wards spotting them out really. So neither team knows where either jungle is starting. Thank you for that split map view here on the clear speed. I don't know who is going to clear faster. Gragas does have really good AoE, but Viego can move quicker around the jungle with his, mist. Don't think it's gonna matter all that much though. Top lane will be relatively neutral unless they trade really heavily. But actually, it seems like Tim actually manages to put down a ward in the Raptor, so they know where Gragas is at the moment.
Yeah, no deep vision at the moment, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
For Uppsala University, so they will not find out. But at least now, like last game, but last game it was B2INT that found out where Snapix was this game. It's Timo Topper clutching it out, getting that ward in, getting that information to his teammates that, guys, his top side care. And hopefully they will.
Yeah, and for the side of Last But and Sack, there wasn't much to do in bot lane anyway with that information. Had they been pushed up, they could have, been a bit more aggressive, but Static and Dynova, they got the push early, manages to shove in, and now on the bounce back, they managed to get a reset. Cole picked up for Static here, which kind of tells the story of how bot lane is going to go. They're probably just going to farm up and scale, and not much action is going to happen.
I love how Joe is just giving us the information that Nord will once again walk on a ward in top side. Love this guy. Shout out to Joe Magic, everyone. Absolutely magic observer.
Very true, very true. Snapmix is gonna be here though. I mean, both junglers, they're hovering around to try and find something, but they're not really having any luck in doing it. So it seems to me like it's spelling quite a, uneventful early game here. Kenji will pull the wave a bit, so he might set up a freeze here if he wants to, which is gonna pull Gubas back. Does have the TP, and he does have his slice and dice as well in case he wants to use it. But Kenji does have Ignite. It can go very dangerous here in the top lane.
I think Gubas need to respect that Ignite, actually. That's a full stack win right now, just looking for the fight.
Ooh. Always holding my breath in this top lane, but yeah, I mean, Gubas is gonna be safe here. We'll probably
He's
take a
sending a ward,
reset.
though.
Yeah, he is. Nord is gonna be here in the bot lane as well, but there is a ward, so again, really nice play from Paragon here. Bots out Nord yet again. Much better tracking than last game. They were playing basically blind to where Nord was, and picks up 2 kills and just runs away with the game. So they're keeping him in check way better than last game. And obviously with the Viego themselves, they are finding themselves in a good position here in draft. So I feel like most of the fighting is going to happen around these objectives, and what we can look at right now is just how either team sets up for those objectives. And right now, around the dragon, I mean, Paragon, they are the ones with the scuttle. They have some deep vision as well, but Snapix is on the top side of the map, so they might go for the grubs instead.
I mean, a completely different Paragon in early game. Of course, this time they didn't give a double kill to a Viego. That, of course, makes everything a lot easier. But the vision play so far from Paragon, they spotted Nord on 3 wards at 3 different occasions. That's a step up from last game.
Yeah, it is definitely a step up for sure. And I mean, again, very uneventful early game. Neither team have actually gotten the Drake yet, and the grubs are still spawning, so we are still waiting for anything really to happen. In the bot lane, though, Root is going to land.
No mana on Static, though. So a lot of damage coming out from last, making that look easy. As Timo Topper moving up top lane, has ultimate available, should be able to find that charm as Gubas actually goes for stun and try to get out.
Nice.
And then Nord will be able to defend him. That was creative from Gubas.
Very creative from Guvis. You know, flashes to get the stun before Ori can pop her charm, but it is going to be a flash burn for Guvis, who just TP'd back to lane as well. So top lane is going to be hit here on the side of BTU, and I feel like the start from Nord and Forslund is a bit greedy. Kenji is moving down. They are going to smite
Oh, he
away
just
one
stole one
grub.
grub.
But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
perfect. That's a good play, actually. Just take that grub, then you can reset, then you can set yourself in a better position to take Dragon instead. You didn't give 3 grubs, and at the same time, you have a bigger odds of taking Dragon.
yeah, you're right. Had Nord not landed that smite, it would have been a bit greedy, because, you know, if they get the reset earlier, they can obviously be at the Drake faster, but yeah, they get the smites. Snapix is going to be forced to ult over the wall here, probably, unless he wants to take the fight. Guvis is
Oh!
just going to follow over the wall, though.
Yeah, Govis is actually doing really well up here. No interest
Ah,
from Kenji. But Govis, if Dragon wasn't secure before, it feels like after Null clears out, that can potentially the bot one as well. They should be able to take that freely.
yeah, but Static is very low on mana, and it seems like Zac and last bit are kind of dictating the pace of the bot lane right now. In the mid lane, though, Forslund will obviously be able to auto push with, you know, playing Azov, as the observers very beautifully portrayed for us. But with a reset here, you know, it just feels like Paragon have most of the control over the bot side, and with Snipix being here, I mean, it just feels like dragons are theirs for the taking. It's gonna be interesting to see what they actually do with this sort of tempo that they have, but you know, it is just kind of, it is a bit suffocating for BTU right now. They don't have anything to do on the map, and it's up to Paragon to kind of pull the trigger, which they are doing in mid lane.
Yeah, good charm coming out. Trollspoon though, playing Asol, being that big dragon, doesn't really care. But I want to point out something funny when it comes to Thunder spells. We actually see Static on Barrier and Denova on Heal. So a lot of defense coming out for Uppsala University in bot lane.
And I do think that is an interesting choice. It is debatable whether it is the right choice, but as we discussed in, you know, in Champ Select, when you have so many angles of attack on the side of Paragon, surviving as Static without a reset is incredibly difficult, even if you have, you know...
Canceling resets.
Ooh,
That's perfect.
nice,
That
that's
is
really good.
absolutely perfection.
But yeah, even if, you know, Denova can offer the Wild Growth and the Polymorph, but even through all of that, it's going to be hard for Static to survive, though. Kenji?
Rubis looking for the stun chain CC. Once again, beautiful coming out from Nord. And this jungler, guys, this jungler is so synergized with his team.
Really nice play there from Nord. Manages to land everything in the correct fashion. So yeah, nice pickup onto Kenji there. Doesn't have the TP to get back into lane quicker, but the wave is going to neutralize anyway. I wonder what that's really going to matter in the grand scheme of things. It is only a kill onto the Renekton, and obviously top lane in 2024. It is a bit harder to take over the game as top laners of old, but any gold into a Renekton's pockets is well appreciated by the top laner nonetheless. But yeah, no, the map state is still a bit weird. Bot lane is pushing for BTU, but mid lane is being pushed in, and feels like they're just looking to take a reset right now as Dragon is spawning, well, 3 minutes away, but, you know, Herald is spawning soon. I mean, they just want to, or Grubs are spawning soon rather, they just want to set up vision around those objectives and keep check on each other's enemy junglers. So yeah, that's what we're gonna see in the next coming minutes here.
Okay, Hatten, let's discuss something here. So we talked about late game earlier. It seems like both teams have chosen to go for the slow game early here. What team actually scales better? Because you have a lot of potential in Paragon as well. Having Gwen, having Aphelios and Viego. Does B2U actually scale best in this game?
I mean, technically yes, because Assault, you know, scales into infinity, but we are not gonna watch this game for an infinity, I hope. But in, I don't know, they both teams have really good scaling. I just feel like it's gonna come down to execution, really. If you know, Kenji can land a really good ultimate onto multiple people, or if Static can get a, you know, reset, you know, that's really is gonna be the thing that really dictates the, you know, how strong the scaling is actually going to be. It is going to be down to execution, I feel, and BTU, they showed really good mechanics last game, but so did Paragon. So it is, I don't know, it is a very hard thing to say, but if you're looking at it technically, I mean, Assault, again, scales into infinity, so BTU on paper have the better scaling, but as we're gonna see here, it's gonna come
They
down
just
to
need 2 of these. If they take 2, it's 3-3. They will be a bit late here, so they will secure 4 grubs now, but Goof is coming in here with ultimate, trying to stop them. And if they just get out, this is really worth for Paragon. Great play from UK. They will just give 2 grubs, securing 4 for their own, and that means they have Voidlings.
Nord might look for something in mid lane, though. Tim doesn't have his ultimate.
Flash dash coming out. Nice bomba. And Foster with the damage. It's just chopping him down. I think, yeah, Nord is way too mobile.
Bot lane.
Nice flash from Denova in bot lane as they overinvest. Sack and last. I don't know if they're happy with the flash from the support. Maybe they are. I don't know.
I think you cannot take anything, but yeah, I mean, really nice play there from Nord. Manages to land his combo very nicely, and Forslund wasn't there. Tim burnt his Spirit Rush to try and get away from that Grubs fight when Guves was collapsing, so didn't have that in mid lane, didn't respect that Nord could roam down, so gets picked off there, and the kill goes over to Nord. But Kenji might be looking for something.
He needs this wave, so he has to ult to just scare off Guves.
That's completely fair. It is the correct play after all, but yeah, Denova is not gonna have his flash, but the main carry is obviously Static, who we are looking at, and Snapix and Nord both are on the bottom side of the map. The Dragon is obviously going to be the point of contention here, but Lastbit doesn't have any mana. Static is burning through his mana as well, so whoever takes a reset first might either give up the Drake or they will have enough tempo to come back, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see which team gets there first, honestly.
I mean, to summarize the early game, and I'm gonna call this early game because we're almost passing 14 minutes when platings go down. Kills is in the favor of... Are they actually gonna fight this? Because they skipped fighting like 16 times. Okay, Kenji actually coming out clutch here. Gold has been an advantage of Sweden, but if you look at neutral object, Flash coming in for Guves. Guves is not strong enough. Yes, he is! Never mind! That is clutch. Look at that crocodile rock coming out of clutch here. Elton John from UK does not want to watch Guves play Renekton.
Beautifully played there from Guves. Uses his flash very well, and ever since last game he's also been playing very well. So manages to land a solo kill. Is now 2-0 on that Renekton. And I asked earlier, what can that first blood onto Renekton mean in the grand scheme of things, and it results in a solo kill for himself. So with Gwen being a bit hindered in the top lane, side lanes are suddenly going to be an option for BTU to play around as the game goes on. And when you have an Aurelion Soul that can roam down, when you have a Jinx Rocket that can come down as well and finish the kill, side lanes are really strong here for BTU, but now Snapix is looking for bot lane here.
Yeah, this could be dangerous. Started to get it with Denova. Denova used flash earlier, will die here very easily. They knew what they had to do. Just go for Denova, didn't have flash up. Static's trying to run away as Sack together with Snapix. Once another kill, cannot get it. And then Foster should be able to crash a wave in mid lane, and Nord should be able to step up a little bit more as well.
Nice pick there from Paragon. Manages to find a Lulu. Obviously not the highest value of pick. You'd rather have that Jinx.
Well, that was Herald. Beautiful. That was really beautiful.
Yeah, that was nice there from Nord. But yeah, Herald is going to go down here in the mid lane. So BTU, they are going to trade that pick for something across the map anyway. And just look at Paragon's jungle right now. I mean, Nord and Guves are just teaming up to clear as many camps as possible. So they are slowly pulling ahead. But just like last game, it is not insurmountable just yet. So Paragon still need to stop the bleeding a little bit.
Yeah, I would say that, I mean, getting 2 dragons and 6 grubs is nice. But if you had to choose, and you're playing one of these comps, would you choose gold or neutral objectives?
I mean, it kind of depends on what neutral objectives we're talking about. If we're talking about like a Dragon Soul that in and of itself is a lot of gold. And if we're talking
Like
about
in this state, like you
in
have
this
2
state-
dragons and 4 grubs, or you have 1 grub and you have 2 grubs and a herald, and then you won early gaming kills.
I mean, I
Which one would you
think
pick?
I would. I mean, the gold isn't, you know, like, again, it isn't really huge, but I don't think the drakes are enough to really make up for that. And I feel like the grubs, they are kind of a bit of a mirage. Like, you only really are able to
way.
use them to the fullest potential.
This
Nice stop
guy
there.
is so annoying, man.
You're really only able to use grubs to their maximum potential if you can hit towers. And I mean, with the way the B2U are playing right now, it is a bit hard for Paragon to really hit towers. It feels like they are dictating the pace around lanes, but in the top lane, things might get spicy.
No doesn't know. Now he knows. Instantly just moving out. He just knows, like, if Stack is up there, then Snepix is close. It's not even, like, just go away, and he does. Not giving away too much information, not wasting too much time. But they're still looking for Guvis here. Guvis looks really comfortable here. I just have to say, like, he saw that and he, like, stopped up a little bit just to bait that out. The Nova Bomba coming out clutch here for Nord as Guvis wants to move into the fight as well. They have a lot of CC. Sack will be the one that will suffer the wrath of Sweden.
Yeah, a bit of an overextension there. Doesn't really have his team behind him when he goes for that. I don't know what he was looking for. Probably trying to scout if there was another player coming. But yeah, I mean, BTU, they punish again just as they did like last game. Again, playing really good around enemy map movements. If they overextend, they punish really well, and they did it yet again. But Dragon is spawning in a minute's time. Baron is spawning in roughly a minute and a half as well. Just like, I mean, last game they had a bit more damage to the Baron. They do have an Aesol and a Jinx on the side of BTU. I feel like this time around it is Paragon with a bit more, you know, upfront DPS that could probably force down a 20-minute Baron, but just like last game, it is going to come down to setup. It is going to come down to how the waves are looking as well.
And I hate to say it, like, I don't want to criticize way too much, but I still think Snepix needs to get into this game. Node is everywhere. Everyone in Paragon is playing like Node could be around the corner. Nobody in Bardic 2 is playing in the sense of, oh, okay, Snepix might gank this lane. There's not enough respect for him because he hasn't shown himself on map. So let's see what he can do. He has secured a lot of objectives though, but I mean, you need to have some kind of pressure, some kind of presence on the map.
Yeah, for sure. And here around the setup, Forslund does have his leveled up ultimate. This guy's the Zen if he wants to use that in this team fight, which I think he will want to. At the same time, Tim is in a bit of a back area here if he wants to go for a flank, but Kenji is going to TP and it's going to be a fight.
Ooh, Static is in an awkward situation here. Forslund as well. If they stack up, they can do a lot of damage to them, and they will as well. It's a quick pick up on Static. Forslund, though, still allowed to do stuff. Guvis is very strong, but it looks like Paragon has found the angle to get back into this game.
Guvis
will fight and do a lot of damage. Kenji next one to fall. Guvis, can you heal up? Yes,
Guvis!
You can!
Oh my
because
God!
this Crocodile is absolutely clutch. Nord now with this Gragas. Nord taking off damage. He will not. Q with the moves. Dragon does go to Int. But look at this fight. Hatten.
Yeah, I mean, just watch Aphelios in this fight to start things off. I mean, Static and Denova just takes so low, but after this initial sets of plays, I mean, they get down immediately, but then Forslund manages to stall a lot of time, but just watch Guvis in the backline. One-shots the Aphelios, stuns a lot of damage, but then Nord lands a double knockup, flashes in to get Sack as well, and then it's just Kenji. Tim tries to flash in for the charm, but just look at that healing! Nord and Guvis, the top jungle duo on this team, are really pulling the reins in these team fights. And yeah, I thought the red buff might be enough to take down Tim, but it is a 4-4-4, and it is B2U who picks up the dragon, but Guvis, what a monster in the top lane.
I mean, last game, it was mid lane jungle synergy. This game is jungle top lane synergy. It just feels like everything Nord touches turns into gold.
really is that way. And yeah, I mean, last game it was Nord, but this game it feels like Guves is the one who is really pulling ahead. And it does feel like the trend of these players, like, again, they haven't played for the entire season in the Switch Online. Hang on, Nova? Nah, it's gonna be fine, but yeah. I mean, they came together relatively recently to play with each other, but the synergy is there. I mean, if one player is falling behind, another one can carry, and it is really wonderful to see. At the side of Paragon, though, I feel like with their amount of agency that they have now compared to last game, they have held on way better, but we still see a bit of these mishaps, and now
Null just
BTU are
doesn't
looking
care,
for
honestly.
lapsing.
He just steps up. Guvis goes in for laps, alone under turret, has a shutdown on him,
Overextends.
and will just die. This Crocodile will just die. Dinova has to use his flash, doesn't really matter, gets hit by everything. 5 members of Paragon will be able to seek this out, and now it actually looks like they're looking for Baron. Null is still alive, so I would call this
Watch Tim.
pretty risky. Good here from Paragon once again, looking for Static. Cannot secure the kill though. Baron is down at 50% HP. Volstrom will just push tower. We're betting it all on Static's ultimate. That's way too early, and UK secures a Baron power play against all odds.
Really nice play there from Paragon. Punishes BTU's overextension. As you say, Guves thinks they can go wherever he pleases, but Zac is there and SnapX is hiding in the wings as well. Manages to pick up that kill. And then obviously Dinova falls as well. Forced to use the flash, which he got up from the earlier play, but yeah, it goes down. So now the gold is gonna be even, but BTU, they do pick up 2 turrets quite quickly after the Baron goes down, which is gonna be traded by 2 in kind on the side of PRG, so they are using this Baron for some good of their own. The gold is still very even though, but yeah, I know, like, Paragon, really nice punish, have gotten themselves back into the lead, and now it's BTU who are on the back foot right now.
Somehow they found a way back into the game. Right now, INT or BUU has to keep going the way they did before. They still have a lot of damage invested in Static and Volslund, but it just feels like they know what to do in Paragon. They know where to invest their resources and their CC. And as soon as they get a glimpse of what could be a potential good fight, they're gonna take it.
And I think an issue for BTU in this game is that Paragon are just so incredibly slippery. They have so many dashes and, you know, ultimates to get out of situations, and Aphelios doesn't really have to be scared of anything except for a Gragas ultimate or a Renekton on his face. Like, and on top of that, he has a Braum to sit behind and just be completely safe. So Paragon's comp, very, you know, you can show a lot of mechanical skill, and that's what they've done in these couple of past minutes. And I feel like for BTU, it's just about holding on, trying to scale up as much as possible. Jinx still doesn't have her IE yet, which she really wants in this type of situation. At the same time, though, Aphelios currently building towards his 3rd item, so full-on item behind on the Jinx is not looking good for BTU right now, but they are still finding things across the map, so this Baron power play is not as strong, perhaps, as Paragon wanted it to be. Oh my god, look at the damage.
They actually hit Temotopper as well. Teleport now coming up top lane to try to stop Guves. I was just about to say they don't have that many to send to potentially 1v1. Can Nord get in on this? He cannot. And that will be 1 dragon away from Solpone. It's gonna be Cloud Soul. Guves now walking in, has a lot of sustain, doesn't really matter. Has last his way into this game. And is really, really strong right now. We saw his ultimate earlier on Volstrom and Static. Static almost going down immediately. So a player we saw almost nothing of for game 1. Right now, he's almost the protagonist.
Yeah, for sure. Manages to roam up there. Guves once again overextends a little bit. But here in the mid lane. Ooh! Really nice flash in there from last, but just assassinates Static.
It's a completely different Paragon right now. They're just looking for stuff. They're showing a lot of confidence.
They really are, and I think that's mostly due to the draft, but yet again, they They did have good mechanical plays last game, and with this comp, it really allows them to show their mechanical prowess in this game. Lastwood, playing like a man unleashed, just flashes onto the enemy AD carry in mid lane and just picks her up immediately. And they have full control over the enemy jungle as well. So yeah, B2U, they are... Lourdes is overextending a bit here.
Has to invest his flash. I think they still need a lot of time to scale in from BUU. They are strong, but right now Paragon is way stronger.
Yeah, well, they aren't necessarily way stronger, but they are definitely the ones dictating the pace right now. But with Baron falling off, with them taking a reset, I think BTU, they have a chance to push out the sides. They have a chance to get a bit of control back. Forslund has his leveled up ultimate yet again, so next team fight might be around the Baron. If Forslund manages to land a huge ultimate there, it could be game-changing.
Let's see what they can do. Like you said, Baron will be the next play. Soul will make a difference, of course, but not the main thing to go for here. Baron will be way more important. If they get a big fight now and you get Baron power play, a team could potentially close it out because they have a lot of damage in each team and a big siege potential, especially Paragon with those 4 grubs.
Exactly, I was just about to mention that they finally have the chance to push the towers, which they wanted to do in the mid game. But now entering the late game, those grubs from the early game, they are really gonna pay their dividends. But the gold difference is still only 1k. But if you look at where the gold is sitting on the side of BTU, it is on a Renekton and it is on a Gragas as well. But on the side of Paragon, it is that Aphelios who has the damage, and thank you observers for taking up the gold. Top lane, round of 600 lead there for Renekton, 1k gold lead for the side of Forslund in mid lane, but in the bot lane is the massive deficit, nearly 3k or 2.5k on the side of Lastbed over Static. So BTU, can they kill the Aphelios? They win the team fight.
I mean, they need to start looking for these picks. Nord should be able to be the one to initiate everything. Forslund hitting that 17 now. Last and Static still not evolving their ultimate to the maximum stage. As Timotapa used his ultimate a bit prematurely. And so did Kenji. 2 ultimates actually down right now.
Yeah, but they do get the flash on Static and Denova, which is crucial in the team fights to come, but we'll see. The turn is going to be started up here, but mid lane control is in the favor of BTU. They're going to TP in now.
Yeah, they're gonna fight. They see Guvis teleport, they're just gonna disengage. But they are looking. Should they just go for it instead? There's actually no vision from Paragon. They have a 6th sense though. They're feeling a presence on Baron. They're taking it down really, really fast. Snepix has to steal this guy. Snepix has to steal over the wall. That's the only way. They're turning, they're trying to take the fight instead. Damage coming out now from Forslund. Static is getting hit in the back line as Guvis is doing his best to get onto Last. There's not enough members on Last, and if you can't kill Last, you cannot kill Paragon. Not a single member going down. Forslund, the only one standing for BUU.
It all collapses for BTU in the team fight. They get just completely divided. Guves and Nord tries to find Lastbit, but Zac completely defends him, and at the same time, Static and Denova without flashes respectively just gets completely dived onto. So look at this. I don't think the call to pull off the Baron was bad, but I mean the call is for Guves and Nord to go into Lastbit, just watch them at the top side of the fight, but then Kenji and Snepix just go in onto Static and Dynova. Just look at the damage they take there in the top side. And Lastbit just survives, and at the same time, you look down, the bot lane is completely eliminated, and then Tim can just pick out the last kill. Forslund didn't really have the value in that team fight that he wanted. And yeah, Paragon, they get a 4-for-1, they get the Baron as well, and suddenly, they are the ones who are looking prime to equal the scoreboard and put us up at match points here.
Everything is saying Paragon win, Paragon win, Paragon win right now. We will see if BUU has something left to actually put up against this different Paragon in Game 2 that's being so dominant on Summoner's Rift.
And I feel like their only real option is for like Nord to flash body slam, knock Lasbet into the team, and then for Forslund and Static to just mop him up, because if he is safe in the backline, you can't win the fight. If Aphelios is alive, you don't win. Static can't do anything because he's so far behind. And now Renekton has started to fall behind as well, and it's just like, the gold is not where the gold needs to be from the side of BTU, and at the same time, Paragon has the gold in the right pockets. And I mean, just look at that, Aphelios, 4 items now with the rapid fire cannon as well. Complete menace in the team fights to come, and yeah, I mean, the base for BTU is just falling apart.
Yeah, it's difficult. They have to look for last, just like you said. That's the only focus they need to have. But right now, there's a sack on Braum that will be able to defend him a lot. And with that extra attack speed, as soon as Sack puts a passive stack on someone, they're almost stunned immediately. So it's easier said than done. They have to do this in the matter of milliseconds if they're gonna throw him into the backline. Has cleanse, but doesn't matter when you're knocked back. You cannot cleanse that.
Yeah, Nord needs to be decisive. Static walks way too far forward.
Wow. Wow. That's just... Yeah. Now it's a 4v5. Last is picking up the pace here, guys. He's playing really well this game. Volsblund needs to clear the waves. That's his only job right now. Charm coming out, actually hitting on Volsblund. Everybody wants to get him. This is the first time in a while it's actually looked decent for BUU. Charm coming out once again from Team Atopper. I don't think they can close this out. Last is doing well, but they will reset in, and now it's just 15 seconds left.
They might wait for the wave though. Tim does have TP.
I think this is a bit greedy for Paragon. Right now they could potentially turn around from BUU.
Nord just needs
They're
to
looking
have
for
a
Lasp.
decisive
Look at
exit.
Lasp. It's just hiding. Lasp is not showing, and then they don't want to fight. And they can find the picks.
Yeah, Nord is dead.
Yeah, Lasp is just playing so good right now. Like, if he doesn't show, they do not pull the trigger because they cannot waste resources on anyone else. So just him not showing gives them base.
I mean, even if you look for Lasp, like, team can just fish for a charm, and that he does, and then Nord just falls and you don't even engage.
Okay, Goof is going for the wave as Kenji secures first Nexus tower. The wave is coming in. Volsblund doing his best to do some damage here. Doesn't really matter because everyone in Paragon is just way too strong here in game 2. Forcing out a game 3 UK. The dream lives on. And we will see what team is the best in this best of 3 going all the way to game 3. I mean, this Paragon is completely different. If I met that Paragon one day and that other Paragon another day, I would think they're completely different persons. Like, it's, yeah, I don't know what to say. GG, well played, guys.
I mean, it feels like they turned on their keyboards, honestly. Like, it is completely night and day from game 1 to game 2, and suddenly it is BTU with a couple of draft question marks, like, was the Gragas a good substitute for the Viego? Could we have done something better with the Renekton? And like, what happens to Static in the bot lane? Like, suddenly the alarm bells are ringing for BTU, and Paragon, they adapted super well. They drafted themselves a better comp than last game, and yeah, it is suddenly BTU who are on back to the drawing board this time around. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they adapt this time.
Last is activated. Will it be enough for UK? We will find out in game 3. We will take a short break, and when we get back, we will see what team moves on to play in playoffs the 20th of June in Jönköping. Be right back.